The following program, though notably nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
What the hell? The talk to text is still on this screen? That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, welcome. What up? How's everybody doing? Welcome on in, man. Wednesday stream on a glorious week. Oh my God, it's a glorious week. Nerds everywhere are having an incredibly good time. We had the first official trailer drop for Avengers Doomsday, and there's a lot to talk about that. People have been breaking it down. People have been leaking even more stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that we got to get into today. I got a lot to say, man. By the way, I know it's been a couple of days. I assume a lot of us have watched the trailer maybe more than once. How you guys feeling about it? The more I watched it, the more I liked it. I don't know if that's the experience everybody's having. I know there's people skeptic of it. I know there's people that didn't like the trailer, etc., etc. I totally get it. But man, I watched it a good bit, you know, when I was doing breakdowns, and looking for Easter eggs and whatnot. I think it's pretty good, dude. I think it's pretty good. So, curious how you guys feel about it. I need more, says Trev. Yeah, I totally get that too. We're going to talk about how I think we're going to get more, brother. I think we're going to get more on Saturday, which, by the way, are you going to be there on Saturday, Trev? I know you got a lot going on, Trev, but are you going to be there? Saturday night, San Diego Comic-Con. If you didn't know, now you know. Saturday night. Probably be live around 7:30. Comic-Con stream, Hall H. I think it's going to be a big deal. After Monday, there was some questions like, okay, well, maybe they sort of blew their load or their wad, or they went all out with the trailer on Monday, and there was some question like, okay, well, does that mean we're not getting a trailer for Saturday or whatever? Well, dude, Kevin's been out there and he's been teasing. I have actually never heard him tease this much before Comic-Con. So I'm starting to believe that we might get a second trailer or something really crazy at Comic-Con. We're going to talk more about that later in the stream. But man, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, I really think Saturday's going to be spicy, so come on by for that if you can. I think it's going to be good. Anyway, how you guys feeling about the trailer, man? How you guys feeling about the trailer? Have you guys think it's pretty good? You know, after a couple of days or a couple of tries, are you like, or whatever? What are you feeling? Let's start there, because a lot to get into today. Buckle in. Hopefully, knock on wood, no technical issues and no rage from me, and we can actually have a girthy, lengthy stream today. I think it's going to be a big one. It's cool. There will be a new one online, I believe. Yeah, do you guys think we're getting another one as well? I mean, that would be pretty crazy, but didn't they say they were going to really do some crazy shit with this marketing? And thus far, I don't know that we've felt that craziness, so maybe it's time to do that. Trailer did its job. I am hyped. Yeah, I agree, man. Dude, I'm telling you, I kind of really liked it. I think it's way more for normies than it is maybe for people like us. But also, dude, I did a breakdown just published it on the main Den of Nerds channel this morning. Highly recommend you check that out. There's a part of that we're going to break down in depth on stream today, because there's even more like stuff that came out from those Russian leakers. But like, I'm telling you right now, dude, like me and Randon really cooked on that video. You are definitely going to see some things and hear some things that we haven't even talked about on stream. If you watch that video, this trailer is interesting because it literally proves some things that are in the leaks. It's almost like they wanted us to know some of this stuff, but there's still some mystery there. So I highly recommend you go check out the breakdown we did earlier. And of course, like, it was good to see all the rest of everybody's breakdowns crushing it, you know? I think Paul, New Rockstars, maybe and Ryan Airy were all trending, all 1 million views, I'm pretty sure, in 24 hours off of that trailer. Bro, we haven't seen motion like that since like Loki season 1. Like, real talk, like that's crazy motion. So it seems as though there's a ton of curiosity, maybe interest isn't the right word, but at the very least curiosity in what Marvel's cooking with Avengers Doomsday. That's pretty wild. Like, that's a big deal, man. And we're going to get into a lot of different things today because I want to sort of pontificate on that. But overall, it's a good time. It feels like Marvel might actually be back in a sense. And they also have an opportunity to be maybe all the way back, dude. Like, it's crazy. I know. But we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Did you read Kevin Feige Chinese media interview? He revealed a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. There's some. Yeah, for sure, man. He's talking about the X-Men. He's talking about a lot of stuff. I mean, it seems as though he's being very open. And yeah, one of the things he said during that interview was also about Hall H. He's like, look, when we go to Hall H, there's a reason. Buckle up your buttholes. And I was surprised to hear him say buckle up your buttholes. And I don't know how that went over with a Chinese audience, but I understood what he meant. You know, people online just seem to be getting mad at Doomsday because of the no buildup. Well, I don't know. It's interesting to see the different reactions, and there's certainly haters out there. My favorite Doomsday haters now are the trying to compare like Dune to Doomsday or whatever, and trying to make it seem like you're uncultured swine if you think Doomsday looks good and you want to go see that like before Dune or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of different flavors of Marvel hate, but I think some things are happening with regards to the Doomsday trailer that are kind of undeniably planting a flag in the ground that people still really care about this shit, man. And I don't know, I guess even I'm a little bit surprised by that and some of the memes that I've seen, and that's actually the first topic today is Marvel might be back and the memes might prove it, which might seem like a wild take, but there's a there, and I'll explain it. Viewers are allowed to like both movies. Well, first of all, that's not even true. You're not allowed. I don't fucking allow it. No, I'm just kidding. Of course you're allowed. Yeah, you're allowed to do all sorts of things. Doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you should. Yeah, the incursions weren't even mentioned. That's true. That's absolutely true. Thanos was barely built up. Dude, he must have been barely built up because I don't even know who Thanos is. It was the Stones that had to build up, even though 8 movies. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and I saw Campy's take on that. I agree with him. Yeah, I agree. I agree, dog. How'd the incursions happen? That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. Did you see trailer 2 description? Cooper Brown, I did not. Can you send it to me right now? And we'll do a wild curveball and look at that leak. I'll do it right now. I did not see it. Woo, doggy, what up? Hey, what's up? Joker, Heath, Bis, Villain, sir. Yes, I think pretty good, yeah. No build-up for Heath Ledger Joker. Yeah, for sure. The whole build-up thing is just, look, I mean... yeah, it's just like you're just wrong about that, you know? But here's the thing. It's not to say that it wouldn't have been better to have maybe some more build-up, you know? And like, yeah, like they clearly pivoted and you know, Kang didn't work out or whatever. But this idea that the lack of build-up means that it's not going to be good is crazy. Because look, Campia, and I've made this point in the past too, like the Thanos thing is a great parallel because you didn't know shit about Thanos, bro. You didn't know shit about Thanos in the MCU. He had like 5 minutes of screen time. Infinity War is the Thanos movie. It informs Endgame, and it's like, that's how you built up Thanos. And he became Darth Vader-esque with one fucking movie. That's absolutely true. That's an absolutely true point. But the other thing that people miss is, go back and read the Jonathan Hickman run. You know how many times Doctor Doom is in that run? Like twice. Now, technically, it starts in Latveria, and then there's a moment where Namor goes to try to recruit Doom to be a part of the Cabal, and you get a sense that something's going on behind the scene. But, dude, Doom is not in the whole fucking run. You're talking about 90 plus issues. I think it was actually like 80, maybe something. But the point is, he's not in the run, dude. He's revealed to be Rabum Allah in like issue 32. And to be honest with you, it's kind of a rushed issue. It's kind of a rushed issue. I love that shit, though. It didn't matter. In fact, Doctor Doom is maybe the least needing of setup ever. His name is fucking Doctor Doom. He's literally the man in the iron mask, the boogeyman, hood on his face, and he's gonna whoop everybody's ass. They gave him a fucking anime level 2-finger stop on Thor. Don't get me going, chat. Okay, I'm in a good mood. Don't get me going. But of course, yeah, the people that are saying that the lack of buildup is so out of nowhere are wrong. But again, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, yeah, no, I mean, a little bit better setup would have been terrible. I'm actually super glad that they changed. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like let's stop being ridiculous about this, huh? Loki's power with that 2-finger stoppage. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I don't actually think so, but it's possible. We'll talk about that because I actually want to deep dive on why Victor is that powerful. And there's some comic book things. There's some leaks. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff, man. We can kind of go where the wind takes us today, like Pocahontas. Okay? We can go where the wind takes us today. So if we get some good questions, you know, some good super chats and stuff like that, I have no problem, you know, rolling with the punches. And in fact, let me just catch up on these super chats real quick. And then we'll roll into topics, questions, thoughts, all sorts of stuff. I do want to say, though, and I'm just going to try to remind you in all the streams and in all the videos. By the way, we're streaming tomorrow. We're streaming today. It's going to be big, fat, girthy, long. We're streaming tomorrow. You know, I'm not going to make any promises about length or anything, you know. But then we're going to stream Friday again. And then we're streaming on Saturday. We're streaming 4 days in a row. I feel like a real streamer. I feel like a real streamer again. And honestly, I'll tell you this. And I'm going to regret saying what I'm about to say. Okay? I'm going to regret saying what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. If we break a record on Saturday, I'll stream. Oh, wait, I can't stream Wednesday, can I? Or Thursday next week. Because I'll be. Yeah, I forgot I'm going to Pittsburgh to see Spider-Man next Wednesday, actually. Sorry. Hang on. Let me recalibrate. We're just going to stream a lot in the next couple of months. That's all I'll say. We're going to stream a lot in the next couple of months. We're going to be streaming a lot more. That's what I can say. And then Warhammer Wednesday stream today? Yes, we will do a Warhammer Wednesday stream today. Although I got to be honest with you. It's probably going to be shorter. It's going to be casual. And we're just going to talk about the game itself. No lore tonight. Because they actually dropped new rules updates and points updates to the game. And so I want to dig into that. I want to like talk about that. Dude, that's why I'm wearing the Dark Angel shirt today, though. They dropped the Lion. Even more points. Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna cook a Dark Angels list up tonight, and it's gonna be good. So yeah, we'll do a Warhammer Wednesday stream tonight at 7:30. But I still remember I'll stream full time deals you made with us many times. Well, that's crazy because I don't remember those at all, and I'm gonna move right past that comment without really thinking about it much right now. Okay, so let's get caught up on some chats. Andrew Miller says, Nerderotic and crew actively rooting for Marvel's continued failure feels forced at this point. There's a difference between shilling and being excited for something that looks dope. My name is Doom. Yeah, I mean, sure, that's true. To be honest with you, I don't really watch Gary's content. I haven't really seen... I mean, I saw that he did a video where he's clowning on the leaks or whatever, and I would assume he's, like, clowning on the trailer or whatever, but, like... I don't know. That's just like his shtick or whatnot. It doesn't really bother me per se, and I also think it's going to mostly fall on deaf ears this time around. But a lot of people forget this. Gary used to hate on Marvel like the whole way through, even when the Infinity Saga was at its height. But there were just like people within his own circles that would defend Marvel and tell him he was an idiot. And I expect that to happen again. It's all good, man. You know, different strokes, different folks. But you know, haters gonna hate, and why should it bother us? You know, it's like the next time James Gunn does something, you know, don't get all butthurt that I'm going to be super critical of that because I hate him. It is what it is. As the world turns, iFlow says with a $20 holiday, that is very generous, says, good morning, Joush and chat. I'm tired of Thor losing. He's a god. Side note, is the Emperor of Mankind more like Apocalypse or Rabum Allah? Ooh, that's a good question. He's like Apocalypse and I guess he's a little bit more like Apocalypse, but he's like more powerful than Apocalypse though. Yeah, I don't know. The Emperor's kind of a hard. He's really, really powerful, bro. He's really, really fucking powerful. It's hard to compare him to Marvel characters, but he has borderline Rabum Al, God Emperor Doom, you know, Molecule Man-esque powers. He's almost like Onslaught and Apocalypse together. If Apocalypse and Onslaught did the fusion dance, that's like the level of power we're kind of looking at here. And as far as your first point about Thor losing, I agree. You know, but I guess Thor in this example is kind of a jobber, but he's not a jobber just in general, right? Thor's gotten a lot of good wins over people, but yeah, he holds L's against really, really powerful characters in the MCU. He does kind of play the role of a jobber a little bit. You know, he built up Thanos. He's gonna build up Doctor Doom. Yeah. A little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Zach says with a 5 spot, another great video, brother. I'm still stuck on when exactly Loki moved Steve because he was pretty occupied with He Who Remains and then the Loom. Much love. I think it's I'm just speculating here, but I think it's probably like, do you remember when he time slips back to season 1 of Loki and sits down in the interrogation room again across from Mobius? I think it's probably like around that time, actually. It's probably within that time frame that he then visits and moves Steve. It's also possible that like right when he has the realization of what he has to do, that there's a ton of stuff that he does that we're not fully aware of. So yeah, that's kind of how it fits for me, but appreciate the love nonetheless. iFlow says, also, our DJ been dope since less than 0. Yeah, dude, for sure. Appreciate the 10, man. Kaylin gives a membership. Appreciate you, man. And Nick says, Marvel may be back. Stole the show this week with the Doomsday trailer. Kevin will steal the show at SDCC, and we get Spider-Man dropping after that. Yeah, this is a pretty fun stretch. I'm very excited, man. Like, Hall H this weekend, Spider-Man next weekend. Yeah, it feels good. Griff says, back from a 10-day staycation. Doomsday trailer was gas. Nerd Vengeance for life. I don't know what those other ones are, but appreciate you, man. 10-day staycation. That sounds fun, man. I need one of those. I'm going to take one of those starting now. Sorry, stream's over. Chris says, let's fucking go. This week, going to be hype. SDCC and brand new day going to slap. Chef Feige be cooking, and I'm ready to stuff my face. Okay, bud. Appreciate the love, man. Thank you. Rossi with the socks. Appreciate you. Chris is gifting a membership. Thank you so much. Zinni says, I'd rather compare Doomsday to Infinity War. The difference is pretty crazy. Like comparing a baby to a hydrogen bomb. What the fuck? I'm not sure I even understand what point you're trying to make there. And yet, I have to agree. Toby the Nomad says, Thanos build-up is overhyped. To be honest, he had 3 minutes of screen time prior to Infinity War, and he wasn't obsessing over death like in the comics. Oh, yeah, totally. 100%. You're absolutely right. We sort of already covered that, but yeah, dude, that's just like that's not a very good point to make or whatever, you know? Rossi! says, let's go where the wind takes us and talk about Star Wars Starfighter. That's not the wind. That's someone passing wind. That's a fart in the wind. That's a shitty situation. Thanks anyway, bud. Appreciate you, though. Let's see here. John Paradays with a 20 spot says, in my opinion, I believe the haters of Doomsday trailer are not true comic book Marvel fans. I find it hard pressed to not be an avid comic book fan and be enthralled with this trailer. Damn, this guy's got money and seems educated. Are you royalty, John? Appreciate it. Thank you. Isaiah, thank you for the $1. Quinlan, thank you for the $1. Real Chase Life, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers. Appreciate you. Justin says, uh-oh, I lost it. Hang on. I feel like the trailer being misleading. Could it be Loki in the scene with Thor instead of Steve? Or maybe he's with them. Would Loki be worthy now? That's an interesting question. I do think Loki will be worthy. However, look, we're going to get into that Cap shit. Because... the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I would love for the Dark Avengers shit to be real. I'd love for that to already be like a Hydra Cap and then flip on everybody. But there's actually not a lot of evidence of that if you really look what the scoopers are saying. However, we'll get into it later. Andrew says, can't hang for stream, but wanted to say that's Loki, not Steve. That Thor sees. The card allows Loki to use magic to talk from the world tree. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. That is really cool. Don't know if it's real, but that's really cool. Honestly, can't wait for Avengers Endgame Encore, says Hundred Brand something. What do you think we'll see in those post-credit scenes? How long do you think they will bridge it? So what's crazy about that is, like, according to Cryptic, there might be multiple additional scenes, up to 6 minutes of extra footage, and a post-credit scene. I could be like misinterpreting what he said, but that's like kind of what I heard he said. And dude, that's crazy. Like 6 minutes of extra screen time. Some people suggest that you might get the Loki scene with Steve in that Endgame re-release and not actually in the movie. That would be insane. I don't think so. However, there's certainly something crazy they're cooking for that Endgame re-release. Like, that's pretty wild, right? Like, 6 additional minutes. Just to give you an idea what 6 additional minutes could be, in Infinity War, Captain America, Steve Rogers, has 6 minutes of screen time. I know you think he's in that movie a lot, but he's not. He's got about 6 minutes of screen time, maybe slightly more. That's significant, dude. You can do a lot with 6 minutes. Trust me. Comic-Con predictions. Yeah, we're going to get into that a little bit later on, man, but I appreciate the support. Thank you. Zach says, bro, I hope they have Loki lift the hammer. What an awesome way to prove Thor that that's his brother truly fighting by his side. We are so back. Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. 100%. I think that would be really, really cool. All right, everybody, let's get into some of these topics, man. Let's get into some of these topics. We'll start to have some discussions. I've got a couple of points I want to make, but I will, of course, look at chat. We'll get interactive. I think there's a lot of different things we can get into today. Brianna says, why are some hating on Mystique's look in Doomsday? She looks fine to me. Nerd Vengers for life. Keep up the hype. Well, look, I mean, that's Rebecca Romaine Lettuce, right? Just so I'm clear, just so I know what we're talking about here. We're talking about Rebecca Romaine Lettuce. Is that what we're talking about here? I think the thing is, people prefer when she was completely naked. And I think I see their point. You know what I mean? I would like to sort of honor and sort of hold the tension, let's say, of that point. However, I think she looks really good in the trailer, better than I expected. I think a lot of the promotional art looks pretty shitty. I think her on some of the posters and stuff looks pretty shitty too. So I don't know, you know, like maybe we could say like, yeah, dude, she probably looks better naked. You know what I mean? Like, but also like, she doesn't look bad, you know? She looks washed, but the effects look good. What? I don't think so, but yeah, maybe other people agree. You think she looks bad? Everybody thinks she looks bad? I think she looks good, man. I think she looks good. Okay, my sources have told me that instead of Thor losing an eye since he's been unmasculated so many times, Doom will just take one ball now. What the fuck, dude? Taking my ball and I'm going home. What ball? Like some shit like that. Yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty good scene now that I think about it. Isaiah says, morning, Josh. Do you think that Dr. Doom only swapped with Tony Stark for Doomsday? Will we see Dr. Doom's true self in Secret Wars? Nah, buddy, I don't think he did swap with him. I think he is him. Or actually, I think him is he. I'll be here all week. 91 Moon Knight says, I feel like DCU is cooked next to Marvel Studios. It's over. Pack it up. Gun chills. James Gunn gone. See you later. Okay, listen. This is a day about celebration, and we don't want to be mean, and we don't want to get negative about James Gunn and the DCU, but you're absolutely right. They're totally fucked, and it's hilarious. Did you see James Gunn trying to promote Lanterns? Like, hey, guys, I know the Doomsday trailer just was like the second biggest trailer of all time ever, but what about Lanterns? Have you heard of Lanterns? Please hear of Lanterns. And then I think he tried some other stuff, too. He'd be better off, like, posting a video of himself just crying. And just being like, I fucked up. I failed. My hair is whack. No swag style. Nothing. Supergirl flopped. Anyway, look, that's what I mean. Is like, we don't want to get caught down this road. We don't want to go down that road. That's not what today is about. We don't need to be hating today. You know what I mean? We don't need to be shitting on the DCU because it's already dead. Ader Chase, thank you for 5 gifted memberships, man. That's awesome. Appreciate the love. Thank you, man. CC Black says, normies love the trailer. Only certain geeks and film critics were negative towards the trailer. I enjoyed the trailer. Hugh Toby Ryan at SDCC. Dude, you're probably right. Hugh Toby Ryan. A little Hugh Toby Ryan reveal at SDCC. That would be very hype. That would be very exciting. Okay, guys, I got to get into some segments, and then we'll break, and we'll do more interaction and shit like that. But let me cook on a couple of hot takes here. You guys love my terrible ass takes. You know what I mean? You love him. You're like, this fucking guy. But also, I'm interested to hear what's going to come out of his mouth. So just let me give some of my horrible ass takes. You know, we'll have fun with it. We'll do our thing, and then we'll move on, okay? So, Doomsday trailer's out. It's making serious freaking waves. Second biggest trailer views in 24 hours of all time. Over 500 million views on all platforms in 24 hours. Only slightly behind what I believe is the biggest trailer of all time to this day. The other Marvel movie, the one that's coming out next week, Spider-Man, brand new, not Doomsday movie, right? Seriously, insane that trailer is doing numbers like it is. But something else happened that I did not expect that caught me a little bit off guard and legitimately gave me a feeling of being back to the Infinity War lead up. Man, the run up to Infinity War was a special time to be a fan. It was absolutely incredible. I'd say basically from Civil War to Endgame felt like one of the most incredible runs of movies and fan engagement and fun and marketing that we have ever seen. You know, I think a lot about the marketing for Civil War. One of my favorite videos was the red, white, and blue sprinkled donut between Evans and Downey. Right? If you haven't seen this video, it's fantastic. I won't do it justice here. I should have had it pulled up, but it's basically a video with Elizabeth Olsen in the background, and Evans confronts him, and he's like, "Is that the last red, white, and blue sprinkled donut? Did I tell you what would happen if you ate the last red, white, and blue shrimp?" And then he like eats it in his face or whatever. It's a hilarious video, but it really, like, the reason I have such a fond memory of that video in particular is a little bit of like the kayfabe. Like, it was so fun. And this is something that I think The Rock can help bring back to Marvel in a sense, too. I'm legitimately excited for the possibility of him as Apocalypse because I think he's really good with kayfabe, you know, being a wrestler and everything like that. But, like, there's this thing where we like it, man. You know, we like the actors to, like, have ownership of the characters and to carry the kayfabe into these other interviews or things or whatnot. Even that interview recently with John Bernthal where Ben Affleck's asking about the best Marvel character and Bernthal's like, Punisher. And he's just like, because he's like in it. He loves the fucking Punisher, man. He is the Punisher. We love that shit. We love that kayfabe, and we love the just the fun. But that has been mostly absent from Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios fell off in such a way that we haven't really seen that. Like, nobody's memeing, nobody's making memes, nobody's like engaged with the kayfabe of the actors for a lot of the things that have been going on. Now, some of that has to do with like what the actors say when they open up their mouths, but also there just was not a recognizable thing that fans could really sink their teeth into and engage and share among each other. That takes me to the idea that the memes from the Doomsday trailer are actually an incredible sign that Marvel is legitimately back in a way that it has not been back in a long fucking time. Memes are a thing, and I think they're also an understated thing. Okay, not to get political, but in some ways, I think memes have actually affected elections and how people view political parties and things of that nature. They're that prevalent and powerful in our society, and it's almost like when an idea can be conceived of as a meme and then spread as a meme, and everybody kind of like instantly gets the idea of what the meme is, it's like there's this lock, this phase locking in reality, where we all just accept that that is what that thing is. One of the JD Vance fat guy meme where he's like dancing around and shit like that, again, not to get political, but like, that shit's so funny. And now it's like we all kind of see JD like that, right? Memes are powerful. Memes are prolific. And the memes from the Doomsday trailer are fantastic. I'll tell you, my favorite ones are the Thor memes. And Marvel, I don't think Marvel planned this, to be honest with you. If they did, it's very clever, but I don't think they planned this. But essentially, this is all coming from the speech that Thor gives in the trailer. And he's kind of like talking shit on this cast of Avengers. Now, actually, that speech is probably from later on in the movie, and he's actually talking to probably everybody, including the X-Men, and really powerful beings, right? Really powerful people, right? But the way the trailer's cut, it kind of makes it seem like Thor's coming in, he's looking at this B-Squad C-list character lineup, and he's just not happy at all. And that's the idea that the memes have captured. And somehow, some way, this idea that the movie has a lineup of Avengers that's super weak has become something that we're all laughing together about. It's almost like this self-referential joke that we're all in on. And it's going to become probably the reason that Doctor Doom fucking destroys everybody and whoops their ass. So that meme, and there's so many different versions of it, like the LeBron one on the Cavs with all the older players. I love the LeBron one where he's like doing this from that famous where I think it's J.R. Smith threw the ball the wrong fucking way in the finals one time. There's just a lot, man. There's a lot of like videos from like The Wire and stuff, and just an abundance of memes that are all capturing this idea that Thor came back and he's like, this is what we're working with. Holy shit. Okay. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. The other meme that I think is so great, and it's connected to this too, is because Doctor Doom stops Thor with the two fingers, and it's like, oh my God, the most powerful Avenger we got here is just getting stopped like it's nothing. The other memes that are absolutely amazing are connected to how the weaker Avengers, like, Sam Wilson or, any of these guys, are looking at that and like shitting their pants. So there's this like meme ability about how powerful Doctor Doom is, how weak the Avengers squad is, how pissed Thor is about all of that, and how they're all just going to get their asses kicked by Doctor Doom. And, again, I don't think this is necessarily planned, but what it shows is that enough people are tapped into what Marvel was and what Marvel is trying to do now that they can easily wrap their head around that meme and engage with it. And I don't know if it's coming across how that is actually really understated and incredibly important to show the lifeblood of a thing within the zeitgeist. Okay. And Marvel has had that in the past. They have not had that for a while. I don't even know that you're exactly getting that same treatment for Spider-Man, which is interesting. There have been some memes and some GIFs and some things with Spider-Man, but it's not really the same. It's like there's something about Doomsday and that grand of a story with those characters that has made it really memeable and shareable. And like, I'm just telling you right now, I actually think that's an incredible sign that the culture is still, they're still bought in. It's just like different, if that makes sense. So I just kind of want to share that. I know it's like a weird point to make, right? Like the memes are showing that Marvel is back. I wonder if you agree or maybe you disagree. And also, what are your favorite memes from the Avengers Doomsday trailer? I would love to know. And so let's just chat about that for a little bit, because I seriously, I think it's really fun. And I think it shows that Marvel still has a special place in what I would call the zeitgeist, or the shared, cultural spirit that we all kind of engage with. So, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, what do you guys think? Whole squad weak AF? I mean, they are kind of weak, Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, they are kind of weak. Twitter has been on fire for the MCU. Yeah, I totally agree. What are some of you guys' favorite memes on there? And I know I probably missed Space Tricks. I got you, brother. I'll go back and look at it in a second here. Yeah, like I should have taken the serum. Yeah, that's a funny one. It's like Marvel breaking the fourth wall with us about the current state of Marvel. Yeah, it does kind of feel that way, right? It does kind of feel that way. Again, I don't even know how intentional it was. I don't know how much they meant to do that, but it has worked out to be something that people can kind of sink their teeth into. I mean, Hawkeye was out there fighting an Endgame. That, like, yes, those are also great memes. I've seen ones with like Daredevil where it's like he waited until Daredevil was in prison to attack, or he waited until Hawkeye retired to attack. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny. Those are good. My favorite memes are about how Warhammer is so awesome, says Star Wars Sith. Oh, dude, Tony! You into Warhammer now? Let's go! Come by tonight for the Warhammer Wednesday stream. It's going to be juicy, baby. I love Steve Rogers, but what can he do against Doom, really? Yeah, it's a totally fair point. Yeah, it's a totally fair point. Someone said their grandma thought Steve was Jesus after Thor said they needed a miracle. Nice. Noise. I think we need Louise to be in Doomsday to give a Phase 4 to 5 recap. Marvel should put out a video like that on Disney Plus or something. That's like a Phase 4 or 5 recap. That would be great. I don't think there's necessarily room for it in the actual movie, though. Honestly, I wasn't blown away by it. My favorite parts of the X-Men scenes. I need to be convinced about Doom. He's never been my favorite villain. Totally fair. You missed my member chat. Just skipped it and broke my heart. All right, bud. Well, I'll look at it a little bit later. No Deadpool in Doomsday. I think Deadpool is in Doomsday. I think they're going to let Deadpool be a little bit goofy. He's going to do some goofy shit for sure. But hopefully it's used very sparingly, Very sparingly. How many times have you said Marvel is back? That's a good question. Chat, how many times have I said it? How many times have I said it? It's a fair question. I certainly have not said it a lot in the last year and a half or 2 years. Before that, though, I certainly called it a couple of times before it actually happened. Yeah, 7.5 times. Yeah, that sounds accurate. Anthony Mackie memes were hilarious. Just the casuals know. Even the casuals know he sucks ass. Yeah, dude. The Sam. I mean, look. I feel a little bit bad for Sam. By the way, we're going to go over some leaked images, and I had a thought where they might actually give Sam something to do, like, because he is a great pilot. And that's maybe one of the only things he's legitimately better at than Steve Rogers at. Like, think about it. If they're on an adventure, most of the time, Steve's skill set, it's going to be, more important than Sam's skill set. But if they're, like, in a plane, and they got to fly, and it's like, there's like jet fighters. They got to go through like the trench of the Death Star or something like that. Sam is a way better person to do that than Steve. So there's, it seems like they're going to have him fly. So maybe that'll be good. Can we expect another $500 bet for the Doomsday box office? Well, compared to what? Bro said pilot. They're really about to demote it back to Falcon? Yeah, I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? I'm trying to be nice about it. Okay, I'm trying to be nice about it. He sucks ass. We're memeing all over him. But I'm just saying, like, Maybe he's not bad on the sticks. You know, maybe he's not bad on the sticks. His flying scenes in Cap 4 were dope. They weren't bad, you know, they weren't bad. Bro, that's Hydra Cap in the trailer. All right, we're gonna have to talk about this Hydra Cap thing. We're gonna have to take a let's take a little detour here. Real quick, guys, before we get out of this segment, I feel like you guys aren't understanding my point about the memes. Don't you understand the memes? The memes matter. I've been doing this shit for 10 years. I've seen the highs. I've seen the lows. I've seen when it picked up. I've seen when it's slow. Trust me, Nerdvengers. These memes are a sign. These memes are an omen. I'd like you to put the word out there that we back up. I wouldn't trust Steve flying the plane. He's going to fly badly back into the ground. That's 100% a great point. Steve is such a terrible pilot that he fucked up and landed in the ice, even though I guess he was trying to do that or whatever. But yeah, like, come on, man. He's crashed every plane he's flown. Okay? And Sam Wilson can fly a plane. So everybody just relax. Your analysis of memes was Ivy League worthy. Thank you. I'll accept the complimentary degrees and accolades, and a dope robe wouldn't be bad. Maybe a tassel or two. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Did you say Kevin Feige said about them having planned up to 2042? Yeah, I did see that. Yep. All right. Ice Wall Ocum 2 says, best meme is the someone get these beggars out of here. Yeah, dude, for sure. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Kills me. Yeah, that's a good meme. Yeah, it's been pretty good. All right, so we all agree Marvel's back. The memes prove it. Brilliant point by me. Share this out. Just like the videos and shit. Okay. Let's talk about friggin' Steve Rogers, man. Let's talk about Steve Rogers at the end of this movie, man. Because, look, I'll get this pulled up here. A lot of people, myself included, had the reaction that this guy, this Steve Rogers here, oh, what the hell? There's something fishy about this Steve Rogers, okay? And a lot of us were thinking Hydra Cap, right? And it all has to do with this look here. It all has to do with this look here. And so we got to talk about this. Let's get into the weeds. Okay? According to Alex Perez, I'll start with this. According to Alex Perez, according to Robert Meyer Burnett, who I think are reliable, they know things about this movie. This is just Steve from 616, 10 years later or whatever, 6 years later, 10 years later. And he's just maybe tired. You know what I mean? I'm a dad. I know what that's like. Sometimes you get tired. Honestly, I get tired of chat a little bit more than even my kids. So I probably look tired. Do I look evil? Am I Hydra, Josh? Don't answer that. The point is this. There are reliable people saying that this is not Hydra Cap. This is not evil Captain America. But I'm unconvinced, and I think many of you are unconvinced. Let's be willing to be wrong. Let's be willing to admit that maybe we read way too far into this look. You know, he just looks a little bit like he's in shadow. It looks a little villainous here. We got way too involved and wrapped it. We could be totally wrong about this, but let's have fun with it, and let's go down this trail of thought. So why might we think this is Hydra Captain America? I think number one, because we believe Hydra Captain America is in this movie. We don't know that Hydra Cap is in this movie, but we believe Hydra Cap is in this movie. Number one, very old rumors that Hydra Cap would be in this movie. Like, way old, okay? But I think the most maybe influential report or rumor that makes us think this was Chris Claremont and his comments on Evans playing multiple roles, including Hydra Cap. Chris Claremont said that with his mouth parts at a Comic-Con. And I will remind you that a lot of what Chris Claremont said out of his mouth parts at that exact time, at that exact Comic-Con, has been proven to be correct. He said that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine would kill somebody very important. We now know, for all intents and purposes, that that is likely Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man at the very beginning of the movie. Okay? And it was Chris Claremont's comments that made us put two and two together there. Okay? So that's a big reason that we think Hydra Captain America is in the movie. There's a Lego leak that recently happened, which shows Dark Avengers Quinjet, and it apparently has Captain America, Hydra Captain America, as one of the pieces in that Lego set. And I would even take it a step further, and I would ask you, if we think Hydra Cap is in the movie, where could he possibly be in the movie? Because we have a ton of plot leaks. We know a ton about this movie, and no part of any plot leak has ever mentioned Hydra Captain America or the Dark Avengers. None of them. I guess none of the real ones. You know, maybe James Mack mentioned it, maybe Majestic mentioned it, some of these fake leakers. No reliable leak has ever mentioned where the Dark Avengers would fit into this movie. So I ask you, if they're real, where would they fit in this movie? Where would they fit? Now, again, no signs from actual reports and leakers that this is Hydra Captain America, but here's something that a lot of people are missing. This Steve Rogers is absolutely working with Doctor Doom at the time of this scene going down. Okay? This Steve Rogers is absolutely working for Doctor Doom, or working with Doctor Doom at this point in the movie. That's not up for debate. That is very well established. So let me try to explain. Doom, at this point in the movie, will be facilitating the entire plan. Essentially, he comes to 828, and he comes into the Baxter Building, and he will tell Sue Storm and Reed Richards about the incursions. He will tell them what they need to do. He will ask for their help. They will go get Steve. They will ask for his help. And then they will go into 616. And that is likely when Thor comes into this ship. So whether this is Hydra Cap or not, whether he is evil or just misguided, he is absolutely working for Doctor Doom. And in fact, he's going to be the person that convinces the Avengers of 616 to trust Doctor Doom and support his plan. Right? So either way you slice it, this guy's working for Doctor Doom. And if you're working for Doctor Doom, I don't think you're a good guy. Even if you are a good guy, you're probably misguided, right? Now, again, I'm going to speculate here because it is possible this is Hydra Captain America, okay? It is absolutely possible that it is Hydra Captain America. But if it is Hydra Captain America, then that fact has been hidden from everybody but maybe a few people at Marvel Studios. And the last time something like that happened, it was Sadie Sink Jean Grey. Let me explain the Sadie Sink Jean Grey thing, why every major scooper got it wrong, and that might help you to explain why, although it is a very small chance, a very slim chance, technically, they could be hiding the Hydra Cap thing in the same way they hid the Sadie Sink Jean Grey thing. Okay? I'll explain it all. What Marvel did to hide Sadie Sink as Jean Grey was create a plot in Spider-Man Brand New Day that would involve a character using the powers that Jean has while being presented in such a bizarre, unknowable way that you'd have trouble believing it was Jean. I really want you to try to understand this point. The reason people thought it could be Typhoid Mary is because she fit the bill of being a mutant, being a telepath, and potentially having split personalities and doing some bad things. So think about it. Marvel created a character, a version of a story with Jean Grey that's so unbelievable to be Jean Grey, and so many other characters would fit into the role just as well, that they were able to hide that point from people working on the movie, from people that were scooping things from the movie. They absolutely did something really nuanced, really sophisticated. I've tried to make this point before, but let me just keep cooking here and talk about Dark Avengers, okay? Just chill. Just chill for a second. I'll look at chat. I'll answer all the questions about this, but just let me cook. It's possible Marvel did the same thing for some of the characters in Doomsday. And in fact, if you wrote a plot where Steve Rogers was convinced to work with Doctor Doom, and he's still our Steve, but he's been through some shit, and he believes Doom is actually able to undo some of the wrongs that maybe he's even responsible for, and you created a plot in which then, because of that guilt, Steve would convince his own friends to work with Doctor Doom, okay? And then you create a plot in which Steve and Thor figure a thing out, or go somewhere and figure a thing out and then realize Doom's behind it all. And you figure out a plot where Steve confronts Doom after that, something really bad happens, and then there's a big falling out in a fight. That is so close to exactly the same plot that Steve would do if he was a double agent pretending to be 616 Steve. Did that make sense? Does the stuff that's coming out of my mouth parts make sense? What's the difference between the plot we know of Steve, if it is a story, a lie, or if it is the truth? The only difference would be that at some point you'd have to record some lines with Chris Evans, with a skeleton crew, where this is finally revealed. Okay? Again, I'm not saying 100% that is what it is. But what I'm saying to you is, the Russo brothers, when they came on board, told various people, including Steve Frosty Weintraub, that they had new ways to prevent leaks. And I think one of the ways they were able to help prevent leaks was to create plots that were so close to what they were actually cooking that you don't have to like shoot fake scenes to throw people off. You don't have to waste company resources. And yet, with just a few adjustments, a few dialogue sequences, maybe even some ADR, you can recontextualize the entire thing. Okay? So yeah, that is it. That's what I think. That's what I think, and I think it would be so cool. It would honestly blow my mind. There's other reasons that I actually believe this. Like, look, man, yeah, there's other reasons that I believe this, but let's just stop there. What do you guys think? What do you think? Any questions? Guys, Clayface was never cool. Clayface doesn't matter. Like, Clayface never mattered. Nobody gives a fuck about Clayface or James Gunn. So, yeah, let's just get that nonsense out of the chat. What if the Doctor Doom at the door in the first teaser at Steve's house uses Tony Stark's face to control Steve so that Dr. Doom got to Steve before anyone else. I mean, I'm trying to follow you there. I'm not exactly sure what you're getting at there. I like it. Cool. This is from CinemaCon. The whole scene may not be in the movie now. Yeah, that's fair. But Josh, it's the same Clayface from Creatures Commandos. Yeah, the show that nobody fucking watched, dude. Nobody watched. Nobody cares what that spiky white-haired freak is cooking. Okay? And I've warned you. Don't even bring that shit up on this day, this glorious day, this glorious week, when we're actually having a good time. I don't like it. I don't like all the negativity that comes out from inside my heart, because he is legitimately a terrible person that's running one of my favorite brands into the ground. You know what I mean? We kind of cook it, Josh, because he can tell Cap this is what he has to do to save Peggy and the kid. Yeah, I kind of think so. Josh, watch it on the replay. Don't forget my member chat. Love y'all. Okay, bud. I'll go back and get... Can somebody remind me about Space Trick Cereal's super chat later? Or member chat? We have Steve motherfucking Rogers on the screen, and we're talking about Clayface. I know, right? Josh, in your opinion, where should Marvel win after Endgame? It felt like they had no direction. That is a ridiculous question to ask while we're focused on a particular topic, which is Hydra Captain America. Let's stay on target. Josh, I sent a super chat in earlier. I'll get into all the super chats after this segment. Don't you guys understand that? Look, maybe I'm not making it. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm not making this clear enough. Okay. If they do this, if they really did this, and you've got Robert Meyer Burnett saying, nope. You got Daniel RPK like, nope. You got My Time to Shine Hello saying like, nope. You got Alex Perez saying like, nope. You know the last time that all happened? Jean Grey, Sadie Sink, they all said nope. They all said no. So it's not as though Marvel can't do this. Marvel pulled this off. Marvel already pulled this off. And you'll find out next Wednesday or Thursday that Papa Josh was right. So what's to say they couldn't have pulled it off again? If they did, if they pull this off, and that is Hydra Cap, because here's another thing that's crazy. Why do so many people think he's evil in that scene? There's a non-verbal communication. There's something we're picking up on here, okay? We could be wrong. And I'll remind you, I can be very wrong and very dumb, okay? Let me tell you how dumb I can be. I once bet Skylar Schuler $500 that Tom Cruise Iron Man would be in Multiverse of Madness, and I made the bet after the world premiere and a ton of people saw it and said that he wasn't in the movie. I somehow convinced myself that Tom Cruise Iron Man would be put into the movie after the world premiere by some slick-ass move that Feige would pull, where everybody saw this movie where he wasn't in it, and all of a sudden he is in it, and it's really, really crazy. I'm so dumb that I thought that was possible, so much so that I lost $500. Okay, so make no mistake about it. I'm as fanboyish as the next one. I can be very stupid, and I might be getting this way wrong, okay? But listen, Linda, the logic I'm building this on is sound. What I'm saying now could make sense. I'm not going to put $500 on it, but I think it would be fucking amazing. I mean, legitimately, if they actually pulled this off, if they actually surprised us as so, would it not be one of the coolest things they've ever hidden from us? Would it not be one of the craziest things to go into the theater for Doomsday, think you know the movie, and have these insane reveals happen? Woo! I think it would be great. Okay, let's end that segment. Let me catch up on the chats here. Let me find the member chat from Space Tricks real quick. Okay, he says, woo, we are back. Marvel has Spider-Man, Comic-Con, Doomsday, and Star Wars has nothing. And the new edition of 40K Nerds. Let's go. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's see what else everybody is saying here. Kyle Cal with a 10 spot. Appreciate you, brother. Says, I think Loki time slipped places with Steve in 828 to cause Doomsday because Doom is the only one powerful enough to make the world rid of incursions. He also saves the anchor beings, Toby, Wolverine, for Secret Wars. Yeah, so you're kind of suggesting that Loki had a little bit more to do with all of this than we would think. I don't hate that. I think that could be cool. Appreciate the 10, man. Thank you. Luis says, will AMC have popcorn buckets available the 29th for Amazon Early Access? Ooh, good question. I hope so. I'm gonna be down there watching it on the IMAX. I think it's gonna be great. I hope they got cool popcorn buckets. Never lose your nerd with a 5 spot says honestly. Oh, I already read that. Marvel gonna introduce a new cast of X-Men this weekend at Comic-Con. Do you think they're gonna introduce Sadie as Jean? No, I do not. No, I did not. People told New Rockstars you confirmed it's Captain Hydra. What? I certainly did not. But I have brought up all the evidence that I have, and I do believe it. I want to believe it. Am I wrong? Yeah, and then as far as Arnold's question here, okay, what do you guys think about Comic-Con? Should we shift into that? Should we shift into talking about SDCC and Comic-Con here? Should I look at chat a little bit more? What the hell is even going on with you guys? What are you guys even saying over here, man? No Lego Hydra cap? I mean, I've heard some people say that it was debunked, but that account is really, really solid. So I don't know. Unfortunately, like, we've reached this weird state where I don't know, man. It's just hard to know. And I don't really trust all these people that are like, it was debunked. I don't think so. Saying some wild shit right now. What, chat? Yeah, I bet. Crest says, yo, talk that shit, Josh. What shit am I talking? I don't talk shit. Man. Talion Infernus says, hey, Josh, good to see you again. Do you think Thor will sacrifice himself to allow everybody else to escape on the life rafts, and then he returns as our Rune King Thor? That would be cool. I don't know. I think there's probably going to be a lot of sacrifice in the movie. I would imagine Thor does something like that. Yeah, that's another question, though. Do you think Thor is losing his arm in Doomsday? That's another great question, man. It's another great question. I don't know. Josh, on my break, we still stream it Saturday? I need that second trailer like I need water. I'm Delulu. Yeah, we're definitely streaming Saturday night, starting at 7 or 7:30. That evening, we'll be live. I'll be alive. Oh, my God. I'll be so hyped up. I'll be so excited on Saturday night, baby. Woo! Let's get it. Second trailer. Maybe we should just break into that. Should we just break into discussing that? Hey, who's got that description of the second trailer? Is it on the Discord? Did somebody post it on the Discord? I'm checking the Discord right now. Where's it at? Or did you DM me it? They're really trying to do a Clayface trailer this week? Like, how? Like, what kind of medication is James Gunn on? Like, what kind of communication just, like, makes it so you can't face reality? You know? Like, imagine trying to promote Clayface on a week such as this. That would be like releasing Supergirl on digital early the weekend that Spider-Man comes out. That would be like very dumb. Did I miss you reading my super? I like to trigger you, buddy. Oh, no, I read it. I was surprised you're so into Warhammer and that you're very excited about Warhammer. What kind of army are you building? Are you going to come by tonight for Warhammer Wednesday stream? Yeah, let me know. All right. Hang on. These are all Warhammer things. Let's talk about San Diego. Let me get something pulled up here. Oh, shit. Yo, speaking of San Diego, real quick. I don't know how many Zelda heads we got in here, man. I'm pretty excited for the Zelda movie. Hasbro has revealed some of these figures for the Legend of Zelda movie. Or are these just Legend of Zelda? I guess these are just from the games. I kind of thought they'd be from the movie, but I guess these are just from the games. But that is cool looking, dude. I think Zelda, with this movie coming out, is about to have a big glow up, bro. I think Zelda is going to pop off soon. Like, it's already one of the biggest brands out there, but I think it's going to reach, like, the aunts, uncles, grandmas kind of a situation if they do it right. Dun, dun, dun. Dude, San Diego, people are excited, man. A lot of people taking videos and shit. Let me see here. Okay, fuck it. I'll just pull up my own tweet about this. I was looking for somebody, you know what? That's why you just do shit yourself, you know? Let's talk about Comic-Con this weekend, baby! Marvel Studios going back to Hall H. Hall H, very meaningful for Marvel Studios. It's a big thing for nerds everywhere. And recently, Mr. Kevin Feige himself was discussing what to expect this Saturday for San Diego Comic-Con. And what he said was this: when we go to Hall H, it's for a reason. And it's to have some surprises and show a few things. It's our home away from home, Hall H. So I'm very excited to be heading back. And man, oh man, I think the Hat Man is cooking up something fucking crazy, dude. For real. Part of why is because we fucking need it, Kevin. We need that shit, baby. Come on, man. Come on, we need that shit. I thought the trailer was great, but there's a lot to be desired. People aren't fully convinced, Kevin. You need to drop. You need that Doom, baby. You need some more of that shit. Okay, so number one, we need it, but also, I think they need it. They are fully aware of how important Hall H is. I tell you guys this all the time. In the past, Kevin has explained that they will literally organize filming of certain movies so that they have stuff to bring to Comic-Con, okay? And they will do things super last minute to have true surprises at Comic-Con. In 2019, when Simu Liu came out on stage and was announced as Shang-Chi, he had been cast officially that Tuesday. He was cast on Tuesday. He was on stage Saturday night. That's how this motherfucker Kevin Feige rolls. Quick clip. Low key. Think big. And I'd love to hear this from Kevin about this upcoming Saturday. And to be fair, he's never done this before. He's never actually hyped up Comic-Con himself. Like, again, I've read a lot. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm a big old Marvel head. I've read a lot of books about Marvel. I have the first 10 years of the studio, this awesome compendium, and I've pored over it. You know, Kevin's explained, you know, publicly and in books and things before how important Hall H is to them. He's talked about it when he's on stage, but I've never heard him, like, doing press week of saying something like this. Now, maybe it's just because there was already press scheduled and it just came out and it's organic and it's not as big of a deal as I'm reading into it. But a lot of other Marvel fans have noticed this before, and they're questioning why he's sort of breaking the pattern and actually hyping this shit up. And I think it's because Marvel fully understands and knows just how important these two movies are in Spider-Man Brand New Day and in Doomsday. I think they know specifically how important Doomsday is to bringing a lot of hype and excitement back to this universe and to laying the groundwork for a great Secret Wars movie, which really has a tough task ahead of it. It has to have a satisfying ending to this story while also laying the groundwork for the entire mutant saga and what's to come next. We are at such a pivotal time for Marvel Studios, for the comic book movie genre in general. It is the time to go big. You know, this is the time to sort of leave nothing on the court, as they would say, right, from a sports perspective. And to hear him say that when we go to Hall H, it's for a reason, we have surprises and to show things, we're very excited to go back. I mean, it feels like they're going to show things. They're going to show things. Now, the best bet, and what a lot of people think it'll be, is a second trailer for Avengers Doomsday. And I actually called this on Monday almost immediately after watching the first trailer. Because, man, we really thought the trailer would drop at Comic-Con. There are even some legitimate leakers that have discussed the trailer dropping at Comic-Con. And yet it drops on Monday. And we were all like, well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense because it would have been odd to release pre-sales before a trailer. Which, by the way, did you guys know that the pre-sales that went out on Monday were only for around 1,000 screens? It was only premium formats. And it was only preview days, I believe. Maybe it was the whole weekend, first opening weekend. But it was just premium screens. Non-IMAX, of course, just premium screens. Only 1,000 screens went up for pre-sales on Monday. And they're sold out everywhere. That's part of why. Is like it's all... The fanboys got their tickets. I hope you guys got your tickets. And we're all really, really excited about it. But there's reason to believe, if you're kind of reading between the lines, that they might open up the sales for the rest of the screens and the rest of the weeks and the rest of the days on Saturday with potentially another trailer. Right? So just kind of interesting, but just in general, again, if you take a step back, okay, Comic-Con's here. We know Kevin cares about Comic-Con. It's so important to them. But then we got a trailer on Monday. Well, wait a minute. Well, what's going to happen at Comic-Con, right? Well, Kevin said that, Kevin basically said no Secret Wars Part 2. So they're not going to come out and split Secret Wars into two parts. That doesn't mean there's not an additional movie, but it means Secret Wars itself isn't being split into two parts, which is interesting. Jeff Snyder and others have suggested that you will not get an X-Men cast announcement. You might get a logo and an announcement of the X-Men movie, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do a full cast reveal. And to me, I believe that. It doesn't make sense. Spider-Man next week, Doomsday next week. Yeah, tease some X-Men. Totally. But also, dog, eye on the ball. Spider-Man, Doomsday. Like, come on. That's what it's about. That's what we need to leverage Comic-Con for, right? And they know that. So, to me, all signs point to a second trailer for Doomsday dropping on Saturday. And it's almost like this other trailer is an appetizer. And it really is. It feels like a teaser, dude. You hear Doom's voice for the first time. You see Doom. But, like, you barely see Doom. You barely see Doom. And you don't see Doom in an actual scene having dialogue. And that's really important. We need to see that. We also don't get to see the magic, dude. We don't see the magic. So doesn't it naturally follow that you would get a part 1 and a part 2, a juiced up trailer this Saturday? I think so. And in fact, there's a leaked description. Let me see if I can find this. I'll just look for it myself here. Doomsday trailer 2. And see if there's actually some leaks about what the trailer is. Because remember, we did hear that there was a trailer that had the poster. You remember that poster that dropped on Monday with Doom in front of the mural, which is his wife and his kid? That's apparently in a different poster or in a different trailer, which was leaked. Now, maybe that's completely fake, or maybe that is the Comic-Con trailer, right? You have a CinemaCon trailer, and you have a true Comic-Con trailer, okay? So that's pretty exciting. I can't find the trailer number 2, guys. Can anybody hit me either on Discord or on Twitter with the second trailer description? Or you know what? I'll check Reddit real quick. Let me check Reddit. Maybe Reddit has it. Let's check. Let's check these stinky Redditors. I don't see one yet. Let me check this one. Ooh, got it. Now, let's be real. This could absolutely be wrong. This could absolutely be fake. I'm going to pull this up. There's images, and we're going to go through it together. Here we go. So a couple of images at the top here. Him on the throne, the mural, Mystique, this image here, this image here. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think this is real. Okay, let's, here we go. Trailer opens with Dr. Doom sitting on his throne in Latveria. I think we've been over this leak, actually. Doom walks through his castle, revealing a massive portrait of his wife and son. He narrates, "My family was killed because of you." Thor arrives alongside Fantastic Four to meet the new Avengers. There's a shot of their ship flying into Avengers Tower as the team meets each other. Steve greets Sam and Bucky. Reed says they have less than 24 hours to stop the incursion. Steve meets Yelena and tells her, "Natasha was family to me, which means you're family too." We did go over this leak, dude. So man, Marvel's clever girl, Kevin, clever girl, because the CinemaCon trailer coming out will certainly make a lot of people not look at this because there's so much hype still on that shit. Bro, this is brilliant, actually. Okay, so anyway, there's a shot of them, blah, blah, blah. Natasha was family, so your family too. Same shot with Mystique and Elena is shown. Shot of two ships flying off, one of Doom's cultists inside it. Nightcrawler versus Reed is finally shown. Gambit versus Shang-Chi shown again. And there's a shot of Cyclops shooting at Sam. Then a scene inside the Baxter building featuring the X-Men with Magneto in an arm sling and Gambit looking at Mjolnir. Reed Richards confronts Dr. Doom, nearly shouting, "Answer me." A shot of Loki wearing a TVA uniform inside Steve's house. From the first trailer, a shot of a bloody hand inside of a TVA hallway. Thor vs. Doom is shown again. The leaked Sentinel scene is shown, but with more finished VFX and color grading. The title card, Doom looks at Steve while the Sentinels are rising. Cut to black. Doom narrates, "One day you'll forgive me." Holy shit. Oh man. Oh, dude, if this is... Dude, I think this might be real, and this is a beautiful 1-2 punch. These trailers might have been designed together, guys. These trailers might have been designed together, okay? Now, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. I'm fairly certain that this is real. I was actually going to talk about this in a separate segment today, but I'll just go over it right now. This shot is from a Russian leaking account, and so here's the thing, like... I understand that we live in weird times, but I would like to believe that we could not be so dumb as to look at this and see AI in the corner and then say, "This is AI. It says it right there, so it's fake." Like, I know this is like a little bit of a complicated thing to get across, but these are real images that they use AI to create from, and the reason they're putting AI on it is so that Disney knows it's AI, so that Disney cannot copy strike it. So this has been incredibly frustrating to me because every time I share one of these things or talk about these things, I have a bunch of retired people from the Wesley Snipes, retired people that are, "It says AI in the corner." I know what's going on. You do not know what's going on. You are fucking glib. Anyway, not to get hung up on that. Point I'm making is this. I think this is real. This comes from Russian leakers, okay? And this is a scene inside the Baxter building where the X-Men are present in the scene where the entire plan is being explained by Reed and Doom. And what that implies is that this, and this is in my breakdown I did earlier on the main channel, so if you've watched that, you'll know I already touched on this. This appears to be a ship that the Russian hackers said this is from a part in the movie where they go to confront the X-Men first. Now really walk with me on this. Inside the first trailer in the X-Mansion, we see these characters fighting. We don't see the emissary. We don't see the Doombot or whatever the fuck it is. But we see Shang-Chi fighting Gambit. We see, Sam fighting Gambit and just there. We also see Reed Richards holding Sam back with a stretched arm as Yelena goes to fight Mystique. These might be the only characters in the initial X-Men fight. Because why would Doom send an emissary and also come himself? Yeah, probably not. Thor also isn't here either. Thor's probably doing something else. So it's likely the case that they all come into 616, they meet up, Doom explains the plan, Reed explains the plan. This group of people with an emissary goes into the X-Men universe. They are going to be the ones that first have a confrontation with the X-Men and then bring those X-Men back to 828, where they will all meet up in the Baxter Building. Kevin Feige on stage last year was talking about the Fantastic Four movie, and he said, kind of offhandedly, that they were just shooting scenes with the X-Men and the Avengers and the Fantastic Four all within the Baxter Building, and that it was a treat that, like, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would have been so happy to see, that there's all these Marvel characters in the Baxter Building once again, right? So this is crazy, because this is implying that there'll be multiple fights at the X Mansion, because when Thor and Doom are getting it on, and Thor's getting stopped by the two fingers, that cannot possibly be the first engagement. Okay, beyond that, the scene that we're going to see in the second trailer, which is that one where the X-Men and the Avengers are, there's that camera that's kind of wrapping around them as Doom is bringing up all the Sentinels, and we get the Avengers theme because they're all working together now. Well, that cannot possibly be the first engagement where they come in and they're hostile towards each other. Don't you understand? So basically, we know that if this trailer, the second trailer is real, and then we have that scene where the camera's kind of doing that Avengers 1, shot coming around them, and they're all there as Doom is lifting up all the Sentinels, that is later on in the movie. That has to be second or third act. So there are multiple fights at the X Mansion, it would appear. Okay? So that's pretty crazy in and of itself. But holy shit, dude. This, I think, a second trailer that's possibly this exact trailer here, Saturday night released, that's spicy, man. That's spicy. And it seems like we will get some actual Doom in scenes with other characters. So I'm very excited to see that. Okay. With all of that said, San Diego Comic-Con. I didn't expect to get that spoilery with it, but fuck it, we just go with the wind like Pocahontas. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Kind of crazy, huh? Does no one else wonder how Thor got his eye back except me? Doesn't that get answered in another movie or something? I don't remember. Josh, could this be the X-Men universe that Jackman and his team get destroyed in, as mentioned in Deadpool and Wolverine? I don't think so. I suppose it's possible, but I think it's just the 1005 universe. I think Thor got his eye back in Endgame. Yeah, I forget when it's explained, but I'm pretty sure he gets his eye back at some point, yeah. It's a fake eye that Rocky gave him. Yeah, there you go. But he knows that the fans are salivating, and he is not going to do anything for Hall H, much like the Russo coffee stunt. You think so? I don't think so, bud. A Clayface trailer just dropped. Zachary, bless your heart, but get these beggars out of here. I don't want to hear nothing about Clayface. Who do you think Magneto is talking to when he says "death comes for us all"? It's such a cool line, and I'm surprised they haven't showed a lot of him. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's amping up the X-Men or something. Who knows? Who knows? What did you say about Doom and Thor getting it on with two fingers? Or sometimes two fingers is all you need. You know what I mean? Magneto is clearly talking to Clayface. My God. My God, why? Why with this fucking Clayface bullshit? Maybe we'll see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in this trailer? Maybe, maybe not, huh? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I don't know. You think James Gunn will be lurking at Hall H? No, I think he'll be in his room eating ice cream, and all of that spiky white hair will be flaccidly falling upon his balding head as he cries into a Toby's wiener-shaped pillow and chats with John Campion on a Discord call or something. I don't know. Why do you do this to me, chat? Why do you get me all riled up? I don't even know half the shit I'm saying. I'm still hung up on the Wanda that's with Doom will be Magneto's daughter from the X-Men universe. Yeah, no, I think so too. I think so, yeah. I think that's probably true. Magneto's going to sacrifice himself fighting Doom with the Sentinels. Maybe. That would be cool, dude. That would be really cool, yeah. What role do you think the Guardians will play? Thor was just hanging out with them. Do you think he'll still be in contact? That's a good question. I don't know how much they're actually going to do. I think Star-Lord will be involved because he's back on Earth and shit, right? So, yeah. Do you think Magneto will flip later on in the movie? I do get that feeling. Yes, I do get that feeling. However, he's with no helmet in that scene. At the Baxter Building, he has no helmet on, so Charles would be able to know. Like people would be able to know if he was hiding shit, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. And then to watch, I think it'll be awesome to watch the Avengers and the X-Men take out a bunch of Sentinels controlled by Doctor Doom. Like that's going to be really fun, man. That's going to be a fun scene. So I'm excited for that shit. Oh my God. I'm so excited for Comic-Con now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Well, we just got one more segment to do today, but let's chill for a second here and see what you guys are saying in chat. Jay Robin says, this kind of excitement talking Marvel is what I've been missing. Go Doomsday, Nerd Avengers for life. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I'm feeling much the same. It kind of feels like the old days. You know, we're getting a little excited here. I'm getting a little excited here, you know? Hell yes. Where is Chloe Bennett? I'm not sure. You know, I haven't texted her in a while, so I don't know. Do you know what else you're missing? The Clayface trailer. No, I'm not missing that, Doc. Yeah, I'm not. I'm certainly not. How much shine will Beast get in Doomsday? That's a good question. I mean, he's going to be doing some scientific shit. He's going to be fighting a little bit, which is cool. So hopefully some justice for Beast. I like Beast, man. I also hope they go do some Dark Beast stuff in the MCU X-Men reboot. That would be lit, dude. Dark Beast is awesome. There's no way Strange is not involved in Doomsday. Where is he? I mean, that's a good question. What if that's him right there? Or what if it's something similar to that? Where he's just going to be in the movie talking to Doom and just... But maybe his voice is modulated or something. I don't know. It's so cool. It's so cool. So many cool possibilities. One day he'll forgive me, and then he kills Steve's son. Oh! Don't do it, Victor! No! Yeah, we'll see. Finally getting Gambit back in 97. Whoa, spoilers, dog! I haven't seen that episode yet. What the fuck? Now we're switching to Warhammer just because you did that. Meanwhile, we get Spider-Man next week. Yes, dude, actually, that's a perfect segue into the last topic. The last clip that we're going to get out of today, okay? So just chill. So we got to talk about something that's a little bit odd, a little bit uncomfortable to admit. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think we need to feel bad about this as Marvel fans, but it's probably worth stating, and it's probably worth maybe lingering on for a minute. And that is that somehow Spider-Man Brand New Day looks better than Doomsday. Now hold on. Don't get mad. Don't yell. Let me just preface this. Let me kind of some caveats here. I am very excited for both movies. I'm incredibly excited for Doomsday. And I think Doomsday holds a lot more promise for theories and speculation and, you know, maybe where the Marvel thing is going, right? But look, it just is what it is. Something about this Spider-Man movie, they've got some magic that we haven't seen maybe ever. There's a reason that first trailer popped off the way that it did. And at the end of the day, there's something going on with this Spider-Man movie that it's doing some things that I don't even think we ever demanded of a Spider-Man movie. I don't know that we ever were like really vocal about being upset about Spider-Man movies. I mean, Spider-Man movies are some of the most successful movies of all time. I think the ones they've done in the MCU have been great. I really like Tom Holland's version. I thought bringing all the Spider Boys together was truly magical, and man, it felt like we really needed that when it happened. However, you look at these Spider-Man trailers, the promo for Brand New Day, and it's just different, dog. Like, I've never seen Spider-Man move like that, first of all. And Destin and Tom Holland have both talked about this a little bit. So a couple of things that are pretty cool. Destin explained that they were looking at a bunch of base jumping, and then those people that do that base jumping, but they're in the flying squirrel suit. I forget what that's called, where you just leap off of buildings and shit like that. They were watching videos of that on GoPros, and they were reverse engineering how certain parts of those GoPro videos just made you like clutch up and be like really feel the anxiety. And they dead ass reverse engineered the sauce from those videos, and they placed them in parts of the trailer. Okay. They also looked at the video games and how the video games move in certain ways and some of the angles that you get in the video games and how exciting that can be for fans. So you're talking about like a really talented director looking at something that we've seen 1,000 times in live action and conceiving, using the language of film, how to get a version of that that has worked before, but pull something new out of it. And like, guys, it's just craftsmanship, attention to detail. It's just really good filmmaking. It's really good filmmaking. And look, hats off to everybody involved. I think Tom, there's some interviews lately where Tom's sort of expressing that he was rejecting a lot of ideas for a next Spider-Man movie until he sat down and talked to Destin. And man, I mean, Destin has apparently blown everybody away to the point that like Amy Pascal's out here talking about how they would really like to have him back. They think he's a genius. He really blew everybody away. Okay. And I'm telling you, like, there's something about him moving in the frame and the way that he does that is so satisfying. It's so satisfying. So whether it's a lot of the stuff they pull from the video game or some of the squirrel suit, base jumping stuff, that attention to detail, and honestly, the desire to try to do something novel is so impressive. We know that the scenes in Glasgow where they built the entire set, that's New York City, and they shot for a month and more, actually, because Holland injured himself while they were doing that. They shot with practical effects. It was very hard. Like, dude, it was very hard. They used labor, intellect. They put their whole shit into this, and you can just tell. You can just tell. On top of that, the photography itself seems absolutely incredible. I don't know. It's like, it just looks so damn good. It looks like it's ripped off a comic book page. I cannot wait to get into that world for a couple of hours and just live in that world for a couple of hours. And that's not even to mention all of the juicy, nerdy ingredients of hype that they've sprinkled into this thing. Like, they sprinkled in Hulk. They sprinkled in Punisher. And then somehow they've made Punisher work in a Spider-Man movie. And I think the more we see of it, the more we're loving it, dude. Like, it's incredible. They've got hand ninjas. They've got Savage Hulk back. Scarier than ever. His actual voice, no banner, only Hulk. My God, how long have we waited for that? This is not even to mention all the X-Men stuff and the mutant stuff and Jean Grey and all that stuff that they're building in there, and the fact that they were able to keep that mostly a secret. Like, I don't think they even needed to cook this hard, frankly. Like, real talk, I don't think they even needed to cook this hard with this Spider-Man movie. I think it would have done fine. Almost either way. Any way you slice it. I think Spider-Man probably would have done fine. And yet, fine wasn't good enough for a lot of the people involved. And I mean, they just cooked, man. They just cooked. So I gotta tell you, it's a weird feeling. You know, early in the year and late last year, there were a lot of sort of like, I mean, I kind of thought of them as like sort of meme-y discussions where people are like, well, which one do you think is going to make more money? Or which one do you think is going to be better? And like, you know, it kind of felt like you're trying to pick a favorite child, you know what I mean? Which is like impossible to do. But it also kind of felt like, what are we talking about here? Like, of course, Doomsday is going to be better. Of course, Doomsday is going to make more money. Like, it was sort of just assumed that an Avengers movie that's tying everything together and RDJ's return and Downey and all that shit was going to be better and going to make more money and going to resonate better. And like somehow, some way, Spider-Man seems to be cooking harder. Spider-Man seems to be resonating more. And I think there's a lesson there for Marvel, you know? I don't think that it's not as though they can make Doomsday into something else, and Doomsday has to be what it has to be, and Secret Wars has to be what it has to be. But I think there's a lesson here, and I mean, the number one lesson is like, just fucking sign Daniel to like whatever movie he wants to do next. Like, yes, more Spider-Man, but honestly, like, dude, I'd love to see him do anything, X-Men, you know, anything. Like, dude, he just seems so fucking good. Sign him. Lock him up. Okay? But also, there's probably a lesson here for Marvel Studios as far as maybe what you need to find is you need to find people that have an admiration and a love for the characters, but also have the craftsmanship and the vision to do something really novel. You know what I mean? Like, like maybe Marvel can recalibrate a bit here and try to recognize, and you're not always, you know what I mean? Like, you're not always going to get lucky. You're not always going to, you know, find the best talent. Even the best talent can drop the ball, right? But there has to be a lesson here for how the talent involved with this movie created this fucking ridiculously good looking Spider-Man movie. And what might they be able to learn from that? What might they be able to distill from that and take into the next one? Because I really get the impression that Marvel needs this exact balance, right? So like, if you think about it, Spider-Man is cooking from the classic MCU hype perspective, right? Meaning Punisher, Hulk, Spider-Man. That's like cameo heaven. That's a lot of fun. That's just on the surface level is like, we're in the sandbox, we're playing with the toys, we're having a good time. But it is also backed up by like cinema and attention to detail and craftsmanship and like elevated genre and all these other things. So I truly believe that you kind of need both. And I would also just say to the Marvel fans that like, there's probably no reason that we should feel awkward about this. There's no reason to, like, at the end of the day, you always set out to make a good movie. You have a vision, you have a hype, you have some goals. You make the movie. And you hope that it's as good as you want it to be. You hope it lights the fandom on fire and everybody goes nuts, right? But sometimes, out of nowhere, you have something that happens that exceeds everybody's expectation and I think becomes more than the sum of its parts. To me, in Winter Soldier was this. Winter Soldier is, to this day, my favorite Marvel movie, my favorite MCU movie. It's so good fundamentally, and it also was this turning point for Marvel because that's when they recognized what the Russos could do. They go all in with the Russos, and they let the Russos cook and take us home. The Russos took us home at the end of that. So Destin needs more work. Destin is a valued member of the team and needs to be locked up. But also, like, you need to find more people like Destin to shepherd this thing into the future, because this is the formula. Spider-Man is the proof of concept that you can still do fun fanboyish things turn it up a little bit in the sense that it is a little bit of a higher art form with more detail and craftsmanship. And I think we're off to the races. Chat, what do you think? First of all, do you agree that Spider-Man looks better? I can't fucking believe I'm saying it. Do you agree that Spider-Man looks better than Doomsday? And what do you think Marvel needs to learn from that shit? What do you think? I think A Brand New Day is going to outgross No Way Home. That would be crazy. I don't really see that, although they do have China this time. So maybe? As of right now, yes, 100% looks better than DD. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely am, and I think it's great. Yeah, so far, yeah. Marvel needs to learn that listening to the fans is cool. Yeah, that's a fair point. The trailer kind of worried me because it didn't look like the actors were present at the same time, like in the reports. Oh, you're talking about Doomsday? Spider-Man looks better, but I'm concerned with the villain and the twists. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's not, there's a lot of mystery around that, right? We'll wait and see. Yes, it looks better. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Have you seen The Odyssey? No, I have not. Only thing Doomsday needed was more action from the main characters. Dude, I think Doomsday is going to be fine. And to be honest with you, like, Doomsday will probably still outgrow Spider-Man. I think. But it's really looking like Spider-Man might be kind of like in rarefied air and might be exactly what the whole genre needs and might be way just more of a complete product than Doomsday. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Do you think Peter gets the Codex if he dies and gets the symbiote? Blah, blah, blah. I don't think so, buddy. I don't think they're going to do that. The hat shot of Spider-Man dodging the bullet in the new trailer looks insane. It gave me chills. Dude, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Is like, they really cooked. Like, they really cooked. And by the way, too, not enough people are giving me credit for bringing this up because I didn't want to even bring this up. Okay? It's kind of an awkward thing for me. I'm growing as a person with my ability to even cope with the fact that Spider-Man does look like it's better than Doomsday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so well adjusted. Uno Dub Nintendo with a 10 spot. Appreciate it, man. Says, love that my birthday fell on a Wednesday this year. I get Warhammer Wednesday to celebrate. I've made a whole quarter of a century. Oh, nice, man. Loving the community, so thank you for creating it. Much love. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tonight, hopefully. Happy birthday, and we'll see you tonight for Warhammer Wednesday. Zach says, brother, after No Way Home, Marvel needs Brand New Day to be great. I agree with you. Toby the Nomad says, do you think Hugh and Toby are actually getting nuked in the opening, or will it be a misdirection? No, I think they're actually getting nuked, buddy. And it is somehow still misdirection because they're going to be a big part of Secret Wars. Yeah. Josh did say this would be the best Spider-Man movie ever. I think it will be. Yeah, I think it's looking like it will be, man. I think it's looking like it will be. I think it's looking like it will be. Clayface. Clayface? 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 New Clayface trailer looks hype, Josh. You need? I damn sure don't. Thank you, though. I think one of the reasons Spider-Man Brand New Day is getting bigger hype is because Spider-Man is one of Marvel's biggest heroes, if not the biggest, and Hulk. Dude, you're absolutely right, but I hope it's not being lost on you that they very easily could have had a different director and a different vision and still had those same characters, and I think we would have maybe had the criticism. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, Marvel gets dinged a lot for doing the fan service thing. And, like, people would really love, like, when you put Matt Damon in sandals and have him be depressed for 3 hours about all the bad things he did in war. And we got to understand that, like, people just really think they're very sophisticated and smart and they have taste. They're not. They're a bunch of dummies that eat slop like the rest of us. But in a world where that is how people view things, and that is actually a culturally relevant perspective, Marvel has to be able to navigate that And I think doing something with the attention to detail and the craftsmanship that they did with Spider-Man, while also backing it up with the fun and the fanboyish, nerdy, dreams coming true, that is actually the formula that will help them in the future. So, I think I do have a point, actually. And I do think, I really hope Marvel learns from this, yeah. Josh, do you think the CGI in Doomsday trailer isn't fully rendered yet? No, they're definitely putting more work into it, and I think they'll probably be sharpening it, tweaking it, trying to make it really good right up until November, actually. Which I know that sounds crazy, but don't you want it to look as good as possible? Don't you want that? All right, everybody. Oh, I thought that was fun. Let's chill for like 10, 15 more minutes. What else is on your mind, guys? Should we switch into Warhammer time? Is it Warhammer time? Should I go put on another coffee and we could kick it? Not even a little Warhammer time? I mean, I'll talk about Warhammer. What being added to the Endgame re-release? I'm not really sure. Maybe some Loki stuff, maybe some TVA stuff. I'm not really sure. Maybe Doom in the movie. I don't want it. I just need it. What? It's Warhammer tonight, baby. Oh, hell yeah. Is Thanos going to be in Doomsday? I think probably maybe yes. But I don't know where he fits into everything. So is that like a third act reveal or something? I'm not sure. Yes, I do remember that about No Way Home, yeah. Fox Wolverine coming back? I think so, yeah. Did I see the Clayface trailer? Hell no, brother. I'm not interested in Clayface. And you could not pay me to watch the Clayface trailer. I do not give a fuck about the DCU. I do not give a fuck about Clayface. Are you kidding me? Clayface? We're talking about Clayface? Here, let's talk about the new rules, the new point cost for Warhammer. Let me put a coffee on. I'll be right back. Clayface? 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 What's his powers? His face is made of clay? Yo, you guys want to see something cool? You guys want to see something cool? Have I ever showed you this before? This is a signed Boss Logic print of Tony Stark as the Burger King. And you know what I've been thinking? I've been thinking we might have to. Can I get this to? I've been thinking we might have to give that away to a lucky person Saturday night. And I think we should give some other stuff away too. Saturday night! That's what he looks like under the mask? Absolutely. Daredevil Mog's Doom. What the fuck? How would Magneto's origin work in the rebooted MCU? World War II survivor seems like a bit of a stretch in the MCU time period. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a great question. It's obviously a question that Marvel is thinking about as well. I don't know, brother. I don't know how they're going to do it. Did you see all the Doomsday decor being put up for SDCC? I did, and it looks super cool, man. My name is Burger King. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what was funny? Not to brag, not to brag, but you know, you guys know I love to brag. I was in line for Boss Logic to get this signed. Actually, Ryan was there in 2019, so he can tell you that this happened. And so I'm in line, and I'm like fanboying out to meet Cody, to meet Boss Logic. And like 3 people in line are like recognized me and were like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, shh. I'm here for Boss Logic. It was kind of awkward. Watch Those Wrist Rockets says, we are back, baby. I think so too, baby. I think so too. Which, by the way, we're going to be doing more watch parties soon. I think we need to do a watch party of Loki again. I think, and that's going to be a huge stream. So maybe a couple of days, but like, dude, I'm telling you, I think we need to do a whole watch party for Loki again and be deep diving on that shit. Yes. Josh, do your best Morty impression. Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's not that great. I probably had a better one when I watched the show a little bit more, but I haven't really watched the show in a while. Could Hydra Cap be worthy of Thor's hammer? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, he could be. Yes. Josh, I would fanboy out over you. Wait, what? Yeah, someday we'll all get together and you can fanboy all over me, but from a distance. You know, about like 4 feet, something like that. When do we get the Maestro Hulk? I don't know. It's a good question. Hopefully soon. Hopefully real soon. My name is Doom. Meet Hydra Steve. Yeah, that'd be funny, huh? My name is Doom. This is Hydra Steve. Oh, hello. I'm a Hydra Steve. Why do you guys all sound like fucking oh my god. Tom Holland's non-alcoholic beer brand Biro will have a collaboration with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Okay. Last try, but what if the hey pal is Tony Doom? When he said it, kind of sounded like Tony, not Cap to me. Wait, really? No. That sounded like Steve to me. Sounded like Steve to me. You should really read the Chinese interview that Feige did. Yeah, for sure. I've seen some of the comments from it. But yeah, I'll try to sit down and read the whole way through. Maybe we talk about that a little bit more on stream tomorrow, actually. I'm back. If Cap went back to the 1940s, he'd have a short hair. This sexy long hair Cap is evil. Maybe all of the Avengers we see in the trailer are evil. Yeah, I think it could be, yeah. Do you think the Spider-Man post-credit scene will be anything related to Doomsday? Word on the street is that it will be. It's probably something silly like the spider tracker saying that Peter's off-world or something. Eric Bana Hulk? No, not Eric Bana. Eric Banana, the lesser known Hulk. C-Dub says, can we ban the next person that brings up lame face? Let it go, people. Your body horror DC movie is moving on. Yes, but you gotta understand, some of them are just doing it because they know it'll trigger me. So trust me, there's definitely not enough people that in the world that actually care about Clayface. What you're seeing in this chat is people that know that I will get triggered by it, and that is exciting to them. I'm baked like some zucchini. I don't know what that means, but hell yeah. Good for you. Gotta love this new generation. No beer, no sex, marrying AI boyfriends. Yeah. Yeah. But they love the Odyssey, though. You know what I mean? They love the Odyssey, and, you know, Odysseus, shame is... shame. Bad Matt Damon. They don't have sex, but they'll sit in a fucking movie theater for 3 hours where some middle-aged white guy lectures about shame that men of war should feel. Why do you get me going like this? Why do you get me going? Is Cartman your favorite character in South Park? I mean, duh. Isn't he everybody's favorite character? Because it's way too easy? Fair. Fair point, sir. You know what else is way too easy? Whooping you with my Dark Angels now, baby. Let's go. Lionel Johnson, 265. That's incredible. There he is right there. There's my lion. The Dark Angels. You see the Dark Angels? The shirt? Y'all see this? Dark Angel shirt? Go. Come on now. Inner Circle Companion's got a point drop too, baby. Inner Circle Companion's got a point drop. It's a good day for Warhammer, man. It's a good day. I don't know who at Games Workshop has a hard-on for the Dark Angels, but this is bullshit. It's me. I have a hard-on for the Dark Angels. That's why I can't stand up right now. I guess I don't work at Games Workshop, though. Randy Marsh is the superior character. He's pretty good, too. Randy Marsh is really good. Yeah. Really, really good. Venom bring back dead Hulk? That would be sick, dude. I just don't see it happening. I mean, I'd be shocked and excited, but I don't think so. Guys, I'm just hanging out for like 5 more minutes. I'm going to get on out of here, but we'll be streaming again tomorrow, baby. We're streaming tomorrow. We're streaming Friday, and we're streaming Saturday night. Saturday night's all right, all right. Oh, I'm so excited. Thor will be, and tonight, you're right. Thor will be, damn, that's a lot of streams. I'm tired now. Thor will be Rune King Thor. Yeah, it's possible. That would be sick, dude. I'd like that. Doomsday apparently 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Yeah, I think it's 2:46. But yes. Yes, you are very close. Yes. I'm ready for Warhammer class tonight. Oh, dude, I'm excited to talk Warhammer tonight. I am going to be just getting into like how badass the Dark Angels are now and how everything's coming up Millhouse, and all 3 of my armies are so good right now, and it's almost like I don't know what to play because they're all so good. Is it pretty decent, Adam? I didn't really check it out too much, but is it pretty good? I think it's so cool that they did that. Be a hero, buy a bureau. As far as I'm concerned, bureau is only useful if there's like a burglar or somebody that you need to throw a beer can at, but you don't want to waste a beer. That is the only, like, I would keep some bureau around just in case I needed to throw a beer at somebody and hit them in the head, but I didn't want to waste a good beer. Who the fuck drinks non-alcoholic beer? Like, be for real. Like wasting $500 on Coca-Cola? What the fuck are you talking about? No, it's great. Look, I just think it's great that people can be so self-delusional that they would create a product that is a beer, bereft of what makes beer beer, that you could have at a bar so that you could fit in at a place that you shouldn't be. It's amazing. Like, it's absolutely incredible. The mental gymnastics of human beings is fascinating to me, you know? Josh, who's your favorite seats to sit in a theater? The go-to row is the back, preferably under the projector. Oh, really? I like a little bit closer. I like kind of in that front third, you know, sit there like that. Yeah, right? Like, I can't wait for non-weed weed. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, just like the flavor of unfiltered herbal substances, you know, burning my throat and shit like that. I just love the flavor. And I love to get into a room with a bunch of potheads and smoke what amounts to paper. I love hanging out with them so much. I can't not be around them, but I don't want to be high, you know? I get where you're coming from. Yeah, and look, obviously I'm being a dick. I don't suffer from addiction. I don't know what that's like. I'm actually genetically... I kind of can't... I don't get addicted to things. So... What's that gene called, Adam? Remember I showed you? I was like, I have 0 copies of this gene. There's a gene that has to do with addiction, but look, to be fair, I really don't know what it's like to suffer from addiction, but I'm not trying to be a dick by explaining that the way people deal with this in the world, I think, is pretty silly. I genuinely think non-alcoholic beer is very silly. Drink a fucking soda. You know what I mean? Or like some juice or something. Like seriously, I just do not understand that. Yeah, dude, it's exactly right. Genetically, I'm like almost perfect, except for the rage baiting. Rage baiting is like my alcoholism. My God. You're addicted to Warhammer, though? Maybe a little bit. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, just add a little bit of rum to your juice and stop being a pussy, you know? It was like DRD2 or something like that. Yeah, I forget. Look, there's like genes that have to do with certain traits and stuff like that, but... What's up with this song, man? It's kind of groovy. You want to come up here and say hi? Come here. You come up and say hi? Say hi to chat? Where are you going? Oh, is this in your way? You want to come up here? Oh, that's a nice girl. Oh, that's a nice girl getting scratchies. Oh, yeah, you're very sweet. All right, everybody. I'm going to get on out of here, man. I thought it was a good stream. I was excited to yap with you guys about some of these things, man. I mean, dude, I think that leaked trailer is probably real. The San Diego Comic-Con, like, Saturday's going to pop off, man. Saturday's going to pop off. I definitely think Marvel has a real chance to be, like, actually back. I think the memes speak to just how big of an impression that thing still has with people, and people still care. They obviously have to bring it home. It has to be a good flick. It has to get us excited about what happens next, but... yeah, it's a good week. It's a good week, and Marvel definitely has a lot of ammunition. You know, they're firing on all cylinders. James Gunn's trying to get you to care about Clayface and Lanterns. It's laughable. It's just like it's just such a great week, man. You know, it's just such a great week. I might have a non-alcoholic beer. That's how happy I am. You know. All right, anybody. Much love. Appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. And as I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, have an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, another happy landing. Another glorious day of nerd venging. So much excitement in the air. So many memes, so much hype, fan theory, speculation. And then there's fucking Clayface, you know what I'm saying, dog? What the fuck is so stupid? Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, attention, man. We're cooking. And we're going to be cooking for the rest of the week. Going into Saturday. Whew! I'm excited. All right, get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. And actually, do me a favor real quick before you go. Actually, do me two favors. First, I'm going to need you to open up your third eye. And then I'm going to need you to wash out your stinky butt.